Hello everybody, welcome to the off season of Tailgate Legends Dynasty League. Feels like we are in day 847 of no fucking sports and it sucks, and
NASCAR's kicking some ass though, right?
fuck man,
Go
I hate
Jimmy.
NASCAR. Yeah, so just wanted to do a video in fucking mid-season. I feel like I haven't watched sports, I haven't done anything with sports, there's not a whole lot going on in the league. We decided to postpone the draft, so I got Lemish over at my house right now. We are making a video. We're going to do grades of teams, and I know I did message the league, the chat page. So basically, all we're going to do is we're going to grade everybody's team, letter grades, A through F, and it is going to include your roster, how much cap space you have, how many rookie picks you have, what kinds of rookie picks you have, and that is going to be determine your letter grade. So,
and we're gonna finish the video off with.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna finish the video off with our guarantee, our bold. Well, it's a bold guarantee of who for sure is not making the playoffs next year, and there's one kick to that. Tell them.
Yacht and Landon and Gar are not included because they're just, let's be realistic, they're just not going to make the playoffs.
Can't pick those two teams.
Sorry,
can't
fellas,
pick those two teams. But we have to pick one other team. Neither of us have done that. We've both done our letter grades. I don't know what his letter grades are. He doesn't know what mine are. I have no idea who I'm going to pick for my guarantee to not make the playoffs, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So, so I suppose we're going to go top to bottom, left to right, from the website. So we're going to start her off with me. I guess I'll just start. Letter grade I'm giving myself is a B+. I lost in the championship game. I do have 6 rookie picks. I have 4 first rounders and 2 second rounders. I also have $170 in cap space. I feel really good about that.
I have 201 for you, but
well,
anyway.
That's if I decide to cut Corey Davis, then I'll have 201. But I feel pretty good about my team. I'm going to pick up some decent rookies, hopefully. Pick up some decent free agents, and yeah, go from there. What do you got?
So for your team, I'm giving you an A-. I have $201 in cap space because, let's be realistic, you're going to drop Corey Davis. I do think that you're kind of weak at wide receiver. I know you probably don't agree with that. You might.
No, I do agree with that.
I think you have a very mid-tier, but I don't think you have an upper echelon. You have some potential there. So I'm going to give you an A-. You have a lot of picks. You have a lot of cap space. So I think you have a lot of potential.
Hey, thanks, man. All right. Next on the list is going to be Roofer. Why don't you go first?
Sure. So, Derek, I have you at $123 worth of cap space. You got quite a bit of picks. I see your weaknesses at receiver and tight end. I'm going to give you a B. Just a B. Not a B-, not a B+, just a B.
Okay. I actually also gave him a straight B. Same thing, kind of the same thing. I don't mind your tight ends, but like TJ Hawkinson had one good game last year and did nothing. Dallas Goedert has a ton of potential, but Zach Ertz is still there. I don't love your receivers at all, but you have Deshaun Watson, who can carry a team. You have Josh Jacobs, you have Chris Carson, and Mark Ingram. I am not ready to fade Mark Ingram yet, even though they just drafted J.K. Dobbins. So I give you a B. You have $123 in cap space. You have 3 rookie picks, including the 2nd overall pick, so you're going to pick up a good player there. So, yeah, if I were you, I'd feel pretty good about it. All right, so next we have Landon. We got Landon. I'll take this one first. I gave you a D, okay? You have 2 third-round picks. You have $76 in cap space. With the exception of a few players, I think your team is like pretty much a gut job. Like if I were you, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there are 9 players on your team that I would either cut or try to trade. I mean, not that they're bad players. Like Jarvis Landry is $71. Well, Jarvis Landry's a good receiver. I get it, but I'm not trying to pay Jarvis Landry $71.
I'd be surprised if he's on your team at the start of this year. I'll say that right now.
Yeah, so what do you got for him?
I'm going to go with a C-. I think they're very weak at running back as well as receiver. Honestly, I mean, you got Landry, but you're paying for him. You really don't got a ton of cap space, and you don't really have anything for picks, man. So I feel like, yeah, I don't know if you're gonna be restarting this year over, or you're I don't know. I'm not a really big fan of your team, no offense. You got some work to do, but good luck.
I'm going to offend your team, but don't take offense to it, okay?
Sorry, dude. Still love you, bro.
Yeah. We still love you, Landon, all right? I'm just saying I would just get rid of all your players. That's all I'm saying. All right, next up, we got Burns. Mike Burns. Why don't you go first on this one?
Sure. So, Burns, I have you... I'm not a super big fan of your running backs. I know you have Kamara, but that's kind of it. I mean, if you're going to run with Tariq Cohen again...
What about Rex Burkhead? Seriously.
I mean, if you're going to run with Tariq Cohen, I mean, it is what it is. But you don't have much for cap space, $35. You have 3 picks, but they're all fairly deep. I'm giving you a C+, man. I do like your tight ends. I think Gronk coming back is...
Yeah, he does.
I do like your tight end, big guy. Other than that, like, your team's not bad. Like, you're pretty stacked at receiver. I mean, it's kind of thin. Any injuries, obviously, barring any injuries for any team, it's a different story. But I'm gonna give you a C+.
I also have you at a C+. Swear to God.
We did not talk about
this before
at all.
I do have you at a C+. You have 3 picks, which is crazy. Why have you not traded me your 3 picks yet? Seriously, hit me up, bro. You have $35 in cap. Your quarterbacks are shady at best. I don't know, like Ben and Tom. Okay, yeah.
Do your thing.
Do your thing.
It's okay,
but yeah, Rex Burkhead is a stud, kind of. Tariq Cohen, also a stud. Chase Edmonds, also a stud, and Alvin Kamara, also a stud. But seriously, your running backs suck except for Kamara. You have T.Y. Hilton, who just got Phillip Rivers, so I don't mind him at $61. But then Julio at 86. I mean, Julio just doesn't get in the end zone. And then you got Gronk and Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry, he's injury prone as shit. Gronk, there are 3 fucking tight ends in Tampa Bay, so I don't know how much Gronk is going to give you. You know what I mean?
Word of advice here, Burnsy, get rid of Hunter Henry. That's just waste. But
you would have to cut him because nobody is taking that salary at $60
for sure.
But yeah, okay. So moving on, we have Lemish and Mike Lloyd Whitey. So we got greasers. I'll start this thing off. These guys, I'm giving a C, and I'm going to explain why. Because I do think they have a decent roster. I love Carson Wentz. Stafford, I love Stafford as well. James Conner is iffy. Who knows how that's going to turn out? Leonard Fournette is like he's an RB2. You know what I mean? But that's what you got. And then Matt Breida. I mean,
I think he'll be the starter in Miami, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Well, and he's
got potential there.
They have Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard is only 25, 26 years old. So they also got Jordan Howard.
Right.
And then your receivers, you got Tyreek Hill and Robert Woods. They're awesome. And then tight ends are pretty iffy. I mean, Greg Olsen, you got to think you're going to cut Greg Olsen. Jared Cook, 160 points last year. He'll probably be there, maybe a little less. But you have $126 in cap space, which I like, but you have no rookie picks.
Thanks, Whitey.
You traded all 3 of your rookie picks for Leonard Fournette, who, again, at best is an RB2. You know what I mean? So you don't have a starting running back. You do have 2 good receivers, but So you have an injury-prone quarterback in Carson Wentz. You have an RB2, and then you have, you know, 2 good receivers, and that's pretty much your team. And I know you have $126, so you'll be okay in the long run, but, you know, that's why I gave you a C. So what do you got?
So for us, I'm going to give us a flat B. I do think we have some potential. Again, Matt Breida, we had a pretty decent offseason with trades. Matt Breida, I think has a lot of upside in Miami. Leonard Fournette, I don't know if I would consider him an RB2. I still think he's an RB1. He's going to share. He's going to take the load. I'm a little bit nervous for his future there. But our receivers, we have, you know, one of the best in Tyreek. We have Robert Woods. So those are definitely 2 really good starters, especially with what's his nuts from the Rams getting traded. I can't remember his name.
Todd Gurley.
Well, the receiver.
Well, he got cut, but Brandon Cooks.
So
yeah.
So Robert Woods is like, I would almost consider him.
I like Robert Woods. I like Robert Woods.
So I definitely agree with that. Again, we have no picks, but we have a decent amount of cap space, so we're going to be able to get out, you know, a couple starters there. So I'll give us a B.
Okay. Perfect. All right, and next we have Evan Schur. Again, I'm going to tell you for the 14th time, change your fucking name. Yeah, you take this one first.
Sure. So Evan, $8 of cap space. I really like your team, though, man. I really, really like your team. Your picks don't really amaze me. I just don't know if you necessarily need them. You might be able to find a diamond in the rough. I'm going to give you an A, man. I really like your team. You're the defending champion. Yeah, I mean, I'm giving you an A.
Okay, I am giving Evan a B, straight B. Reason being, I'm with him. I love your team. I think you got a really, really solid team. However, Jameis Winston is not a starter anymore, and Derek Carr is iffy.
Might not be a starter.
Iffy. Yep. They have been looking for a quarterback. So
we got 3 of them, big guy.
I obviously love Delvin Cook. You have David Montgomery. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't feel super good about that. I feel great about Delvin Cook. I don't know about David Montgomery, but you have nothing behind that. You have 2 free agent running backs and James White with no Tom Brady. And then your receivers, love your receivers. You got Tyler Boyd, Calvin Ridley, Adam Thielen. I love all those guys, which is why I gave you a B. And then
Jeffrey.
Yep. And you got he's a little too injury prone for me.
Sure.
But you have Kelsey and Kittle. And
you're going to run dual stacks.
Yep. Makes sense. Then you have 3 picks. None of them are great picks, but you can find value at the end of the first round and in the second round. But you have $8 in cap space, so I don't think you're going to be doing too much in free agency. But we'll see. You know, I don't know what kind of moves you're going to make, but I give you a solid B. So, yeah, I think your team's looking pretty good. Yeah. Next, we got Lemke. Baby got Dak. I like that you changed your team name mid-season. What up? Can you get me a beer, please?
Can I have these bad boys too, please?
Thank you.
Lizzie's great.
So, Lemke, I'll start. Did I start the last one?
I did. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay. Lemke, I am also giving you a B. Love Dak Prescott. Love Nick Chubb. Like Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt. I think they will both end as RB2s. But obviously, Christian McCaffrey is a monster in every way, shape, and form. And then you got Devontae Adams. After Devontae Adams, I'm a little skeptical on your receivers. Tyler Lockett. I like Tyler Lockett.
Sammy Debo. Ooh, I like Debo.
I like Debo Samuel too. And, you know, they just drafted Ayuk, you know, and I don't mind your receivers and your tight ends. I like Hooper. And then Jace, you know, boom or bust right there. There's a lot of potential there. So I'm giving you a straight B. I really, really, really like your team. You have $155 in cap space, and you have 2 rookie picks. So I think your team's only going to get better.
So Lemke is getting my best grade. I'm giving him an A+. Yep. I really like your team. I really like it. I think you're like a few missing pieces away from having a great team.
Well, if you're giving him an A+, he probably has a great team.
I mean, well, here's the thing. He's got $155 worth of cap space. Plus, he's got the 8th overall pick and the 20th overall pick, which is whatever. But, again, I think you're maybe one starter away from I just really like your team. I mean, you need some quarterbacks, but they're just backups.
I love you too, honey.
That's really cute. Sincerely. But I really like your team. I think you're pretty deep. Yeah, I'm giving you an A+.
Awesome. Yeah, and I can't really debate that. You know, you have a ton of potential, and you know, with the cap space and the rookie picks, yeah. All right, and next we got Weiler. Take it away.
Sure. Weiler and company.
Yeah.
I like your guys' team. I'm gonna give you a B+. You don't have much for cap space, $34. You have the 4th overall, the 10th overall, which is good, and then the 34th, which is kind of whatever. But I don't really have a big weakness for your team. I know you just picked up Darren Waller out of that trade for what's his nuts from Kansas City? I can't even think of
what's his nuts. Patrick Mahomes is his name.
I'm really unsure of why that happened. I don't know why anyone couldn't have offered more. But anyway, I
could have offered more. I would have offered more. I fucking promise you I would have given you more.
Good grief. I will say that you filled a need on your team in tight end. It's the only question.
Did he though?
The only question, I like Darren Waller a lot. The only question I have, thank you. The only question that I have is who's going to be throwing to him and how is that team going to be shaken out? Because I don't know if they're rebuilding or I don't know if they're reloading. I don't really know. It's such a question mark out there in Las Vegas now, right? But I'll give you a B+.
Weiler and company. You got jacked on that trade for sure. I mean, seriously. I have more fucking assets than anybody, and you couldn't have just checked with me to be like, hey, we're giving away Patrick Mahomes for Darren Waller.
Throw it on like the...
What the fuck is going on right now?
Throw it on the market, man. Like,
anyway,
good grief, dude.
If you're going to shop Mahomes, like, shop him, man.
Nobody even knew about that trade.
Nobody.
Like,
that's crazy. If you're shopping...
literally the MVP of the
literally
league.
The #1 dynasty player in the NFL, shop him.
And look, I understand.
What the fuck?
Hold on, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut into you. I understand that you have Lamar Jackson, but dude, he is one injury away from you guys having no fucking quarterback. Like, good grief. I know you're gonna get a backup, but good grief, man.
So anyway, I know I've told you to change your fucking team name too, and I will tell you this. If you don't change your team name, I'm going to change your team name to the Three Stooges, okay? And it will stay that way.
Larry, Moe, and Homo.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so anyway, got a little off track there. I gave you guys a B-. Reason being, Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar Jackson. Can't argue with that. But Austin Eckler, I'm personally, I'm not sold on Austin Eckler without Phillip Rivers there as much. I mean, I know he's going to be good, but I don't think he's going to be like what he was when Phil was there. And then, Melvin Gordon. There's 3 running backs there. I don't know what's going to happen. Kareem Hunt. I like Kareem Hunt. And then your receivers, you got Keenan Allen, Kenny Golladay. That's pretty much it. And then your tight ends, you traded for Darren Waller.
I think Emmanuel Sanders is going to have a decent year with New Orleans, potentially.
Maybe, except he hates Drew Brees now, because Drew Brees is a racist, but that's okay.
Racist. Good grief.
So you have $34, and you do have 2 first-round picks. That's why I gave you a B-, because I honestly don't really love your team. Yeah. I don't love your team as is right now, but you do have 3 rookie picks, 2 first-rounders, $34 right now. So you ended up in the B category as a B-, all right? All right, moving on from the Three Stooges.
Larry, Moe, and Homo.
Yeah. Moving on to Gar.
You guys can decide who's who.
They already have. They've talked about this. All right, Gar. Gar, I gave a straight C. Traded for Patrick Mahomes, huge. Gar is like, first he trades Leonard Fournette for their entire draft, which is unbelievable. It's like the Mike Ditka trade for Ricky Williams. I will listen. I'll trade you my whole draft. All right, give me this guy. Just give me this guy.
Thanks, White Dog.
So he pulls that trade off, and now he pulls the Darren Waller for Patrick Mahomes. I think there was a first rounder in there. Who fucking cares?
Probably.
It's Patrick Mahomes. Totally
steal.
Total steal. So you got Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield, Phillip Rivers, Nick Foles. A+++ for your quarterbacks. Then we get into the running backs. Royce Freeman, Gore, Duke Johnson, Tony Pollard, Darwin Thompson, Damian Williams. You literally do not have a single starting running back on your roster. That is not good. And then you got Odell, DJ Chark. I don't know. After that, I mean, McCole Hardman is like the third or fourth option there. Marvin Jones isn't that bad, but he's not that good either. And then your tight ends, Gesicki. I actually like Gesicki as like a tight end 2 probably. I think is what he'll end next year. And then Josh Oliver is trash. So I gave you a C. You only have $15, but you do have 6 picks. So you can make a huge dent. You can make a big difference in the draft.
So I also gave you just a straight C. $15 the cap. Love your trades recently. You do have a decent amount of picks where you might be able to pop off a couple diamonds in the rough, but they're not that great of picks. They're all pretty late. I mean, 19, 16, 21 is your top 3.
Does he have a first rounder?
He does. I mean, it's 9th overall.
9, yeah.
So you do have a first rounder, but I mean, you might as well consider that a second. But this is a deep draft.
It's a very deep draft.
So
yep.
But all right. So my notes for you is, don't like your receivers, don't like your running backs. Not a huge fan of your team. You do have potential, but I always feel like you're in the rebuilding phase. Like I always feel like.
I feel like you've been rebuilding for 5 fucking years, Gar.
You get a good guy in contract, and you trade him off for more picks. Like you have the most picks in the draft by far, and you're trying to find the diamond in the rough. When you find it, then you trade it off for more picks. Like I don't understand your strategy. And look, I appreciate you donating money every year, but like, man, I'm just saying. You know, good players on good contracts win this league, and you're giving them away.
Big players make big plays.
And I know that the draft is a lot of fun, and I wish I had picks.
Yeah, you do.
Again, thanks, White Dog.
Yeah, you definitely do.
But man, like you got to really kind of start figuring this shit out. So anyway, I'm gonna give you a C, and
oh, that's awesome.
I love you, Garlo. Hey, Nickelback loves you too, baby.
Yeah, they do. All right, moving on from that. Fuck, that was brutal. We have Pump and Munch, Yacht. Yeah, fucking Yacht. Did I go first or did you go first?
I think I'll go first. I don't care.
Yeah, go for it.
Yacht. I really don't have much for notes in your team, to be honest with you. I mean.
I kind of forgot.
I honestly, it wasn't that. I think I kind of got to the end of the list, but I really don't mind your team. Like I
looked at your team and I just got bored. I don't know.
That's not true. I actually don't mind your quarterbacks, running backs. I mean, you know what? Your receivers are actually fairly decent too. I mean, your tight ends have a bit of work. I've never been a fan of OJ Howard. And I've been talking to this motherfucker for like 2 years about it, and he finally figured it out and traded him. But you have $5. You have $5 of cap space.
$5?
You have no picks.
$5?
I gave you a C+, but I think I'm gonna give you I'm gonna change it to a D+. I'll give you D+, man. I mean, just
I did a C+, and now you get a fucking F. Fuck you.
Now I'm actually looking at your team and like.
Oh, that's awesome.
You do have potential, but like $5 of cap space, and like you have a starting team, you know, and Devin Funchess is with the Packers now, so that's cool, right? I mean, I know you're always thumping the Packers players, which is cool. You got Aaron Jones and Devin Funchess now and whatever. But again, I really like DK Metcalf. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's gonna be a stud. Stefon Diggs is going to remain to be seen. Who knows what the hell's... I mean, if you have Antonio Brown before the season, I'd be surprised, but I don't know. You might be holding out for him, but again, I had a C+ marked down for you, but I'm going to give you a D+, dude. I'm even going to do a whole grade because I just don't...
That's fair.
How do you only have $5?
That's fair.
Sorry.
All right.
Anyway.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Do your thing. All right. So I gave you a C+. I did give you a C+. I don't mind your quarterbacks, Jimmy and Jared Goff. You know, both of them are not the greatest. They're both probably QB2s, but combined, you can, you know, pick the better matchup and at least, you know, and get
decent contracts too.
Yep, get decent production out of those guys. I actually like your running backs. Kenyon Drake, Aaron Jones, and Devin Singletary. That's a pretty good top three. Aaron Jones
Not to mention Jordan Howard. Right?
Yeah, and Jordan Howard. And I think Jordan Howard will get work over there. So yeah. I actually like your running backs. I'm with him on your receivers. Stefon Diggs does remain to be seen, but I think Stefon Diggs is going to be serviceable at worst. DK Metcalf, he's probably going to end up at worst a wide receiver 2 at worst. And then Mohamed Sanu is pretty underrated. Preston Williams is also underrated. Hayden Hurst, that's where you're going to win. You're winning a little bit. You have O.J. Howard, and that kind of sucks because they got Gronk and Cameron Brate there. But Hayden Hurst got traded to the Falcons, or got picked up by the Falcons, sorry.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I actually really like that.
And Austin Hooper is not there anymore, right. So I actually really like Hayden Hurst there.
I think Hayden Hurst is more athletic than Austin Hooper.
So I actually like your tight ends. You have 0 picks, though, and you have $5 in cap space, and neither of those are good. That's like the worst for everybody, out of everybody.
Get rid of Antonio Brown. Sorry, dude.
And maybe you have to. I don't know.
You have some cap space on.
But I don't.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
But no, you're good. So I gave you a C+. I like the potential of your team. I like your running backs. I like a couple of your receivers, your tight ends. I think you can be. I think you can do some damage this year. So, all right. Next, we have Fat Bottom Girlies, Boggs. All started off. I gave you a B-. Even though I don't even particularly love your roster right now. Nope, this is mine, honey. I don't particularly love your roster right now. You have Drew Brees, obviously,
racist.
Who's a racist, by the way. Cut him, seriously. But you have Malcolm Brown, Darius Geis, and Ty Johnson are your running backs right now. Right now. Malcolm Brown, Darius Geis, and Ty Johnson. So bad. By far the worst running back group in the entire league right now.
I don't think it's close.
It's not even close. But you do make up for it with your receivers. You do have A.J. Brown, John Brown, A.J. Green, Golden Tate, and Michael Thomas. So you have very good receivers. Yep, stacked at receiver.
Yep.
Tight end, Irv Smith, who knows, like, he has a ton of potential. Who knows where that's going to go. But where you get your B- is your picks. You have 3 picks, and that includes the first overall pick. And then you also have $213 in cap space. Now, I am assuming you'll draft a running back with the first overall pick, so that'll take care of that. There are not that many running backs in free agency, though, so most of that free agent money will go to more receivers, which you're already stacked at. But you know what you're doing. You'll figure it out. But $213, 3 picks, first overall pick, stacked at receiver already, good quarterback, got you at a solid B-.
I have you at a B, so I'll give you a little notch up. Obviously, you have a ton of cap space. I hate your running backs. Again, I think they're trash. I mean, there may be a little bit of potential in Geis, but your receivers are stacked. Yeah, you got some picks. Other than that, like,
Well, you got the first overall pick.
First overall pick.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
That's a big
you know what?
deal.
You're going to get a starter there, which is
Yep.
yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to remember my notes, and I'm a little intoxicated. We golfed a little bit today.
We golfed Crystal Springs today. It was fun.
It was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, you have a lot of cap space. You got some potential. I'm going to give you a B.
All right. Good deal. All right, and then last but not least, again, we just went in order of who was, on the roster sheet, on the roster page on the website. So, last but not least, we have Prusky, and I'll let you go first.
So Prusky, I actually, for some reason, did not give you a grade. Sorry, man. My notes are a little jobby right now, but looking at your team, I actually really don't mind your team. You got $26 worth of cap space. I'm assuming that you're probably going to free some of that up with some of your players. I really don't mind your tight ends. Your receivers are spotty at best at this point. I mean, I think your best receiver is Juju Smith-Schuster. Cortland Sutton's got some potential there. But other than that, like those are your top receivers. Your running backs are fairly good. I mean, obviously Saquon, Derrick Henry, Carlos Hyde is now at Seattle, which I think he's gonna have a big role there. And I do think that Miles Sanders is an upcoming stud. So I really like your running backs. Your quarterbacks are obviously awesome. Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, he's serviceable for fantasy, and Sam Darnold. So I really like your team. You only have $26 worth of cap space, but you do have a decent amount of picks. You have the 7th overall, and then you have 3 other kind of deeper picks. So I'm gonna give you an A-. Like, I really don't hate this. I really don't hate it. I'll give you an A-.
Okay, that's a good grade, I think. Prusky, actually gave you tied. And I'm just looking right now. I didn't even see this, but I gave you tied for the highest grade of everybody, tied with me at a B+. I did not give anybody an A.
What a weird scale.
It is a weird scale.
There's no 10s here, right, yeah. Whitey? No 10s.
Why would there be 10s? Prusky, I think you got such a solid team. Your quarterbacks are a little shaky. But between Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you got to find a starter week to week. Your running backs, you have the best running back stable
for sure
in the league. Saquon Barkley, Tevin Coleman, I think you'll cut him, I don't know, $27, I don't know. But you have Saquon, Saquon, Derrick Henry, Carlos Hyde, and Miles Sanders. I just don't think it gets much better than that. Maybe Lemke's team, but I think you have the best receivers. Running backs. Sorry. Your receivers, you have Juju Smith-Schuster, Cortland Sutton, Mike Williams is but like he said, you have the seventh overall pick. You have $26 in cap space, so you'll be able to get a couple players. And your defenses are okay. You got Evan Ingram and Eric Ebron. I actually don't love your tight ends, but I'm probably in the minority there. But no, I'm going to give you a B+.
Eric Ebron was in Pitt, no? Interesting.
Yeah. So I gave you a B+. I think year to year, your team has been one of the best teams on paper. You finished really, really, really strong last year. I think you won your final 7 games to make it to the playoffs by 1 game. And that's just because you have a solid roster. So I gave you a B+. And that concludes our letter grades for Tailgate Legends Dynasty League. Now, real quick, we're gonna end the video in a minute. Lemish, give me your guarantee not making the playoffs next year.
Burns.
Oh,
sorry, man. I wasn't even a second guess, dude. It's not a big fan of your team, but I wish you the best.
Oh, okay. It was a tough decision, though. It was a tough decision.
This
is a tough one. Like anybody can make the playoffs.
I snapped off on that answer, but like I've been thinking about it for a while.
I love
so
it.
Sorry.
I am taking.
Hit in the butt. Sorry, I had to.
Besides that, I'm taking Weiler. I'm taking Weiler. Not making the playoffs this year.
Bold. Okay.
Yep. Pretty bold. Pretty bold. Because
I love you.
I love you too, honey.
I love you a lot.
I love you too. Mwah. All right.
Lots of love.
That concludes our off-season video of TLDL letter grades. I hope you guys had fun. And peace out.
Stay clean, stay healthy, bros.
Hell yeah.